It was a quiet Friday evening over the Pacific Northwest, until a voice crackled over the airwaves from an unexpected source. Not a trained pilot, not a hijacker, but a man in pain. His name was Richard Russell, though the internet would immortalize him with a new title, Sky King. What began as a bizarre news story would soon evolve into a tragedy, and a chilling reminder of how easily a smile can hide the deepest of wounds. Before his name was etched into infamy, Richard Russell was ordinary, almost invisible in the grand machinery of an international airport. Born in Key West, Florida, and raised in the quiet town of Wasilla, Alaska, Richard was the kind of man most people would call a good guy. He had no criminal history, no erratic behavior, and no drama. He played football in high school, ran a bakery with his wife. He attended church, and when they moved to Washington State, Richard took a job with Horizon Air, part of the Alaska Airlines family. He wasn't a pilot, and he wasn't security. He worked baggage. His job title was ground service operator, and day in and day out, Richard moved luggage, directed aircraft, and sometimes towed planes across the tarmac. It was monotonous work, backbreaking and thankless, but he did it without complaint. Online, he had a small YouTube channel, one video titled Russell's Travel Adventures, showing him smiling with his wife, goofing around in different countries. His voice was cheerful, and his eyes were kind. Nobody suspected a thing, but beneath the surface, something was brewing. Richard wasn't just doing his job, he was learning. For over 3 years, Richard worked closely with aircraft, especially the Bombardier Dash 8 Q400, the same model he would eventually steal. During ground operations, he had access to the cockpit. He learned the layout, the instrumentation, and the startup sequences. Bits and pieces gathered from 1,000 tiny, forgettable tasks. That was step 1. Step 2 happened at home. Richard had become deeply immersed in flight simulator software, likely Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane. These are not just games, they are near-perfect replicas of real-world aviation systems, from engine startup to flight controls to autopilot functions. In these virtual cockpits, Richard could practice for hours, safely and alone. He could repeat emergency procedures, test different maneuvers, and build the muscle memory of a pilot without ever touching the sky. He wasn't just fantasizing. He was preparing, and on the evening of August 10th, 2018, Richard put that preparation into action. Around 7:15 p.m., he walked across the tarmac at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport wearing his ground crew vest, blending in with the countless other workers finishing their shift. No one stopped him. He approached a Horizon Air Q400, tail number N449QX, a plane not scheduled for any flights that evening. It was parked, idle, and vulnerable. Richard climbed aboard. First, he fired up the auxiliary power unit, giving the aircraft electricity. Then he powered on the avionics and flight systems, using the exact same sequence he had practiced in simulators and observed from countless times in real life. One by one, he started the turboprop engines. He disengaged the parking brake, removed the wheel chocks, and released the hydraulic pressure. And just like that, he was moving. Security cameras captured the plane rolling across the tarmac, controlled entirely by a man who officially had no idea what he was doing. There were no warnings, no alerts. He reached the runway and throttled forward. The Q400 lifted off the ground, its silhouette disappearing into the orange dusk sky. A baggage handler had just hijacked a 30-ton commercial airliner. What happened next was not chaos, but an eerie calm. Air traffic controls scrambled, military jets were deployed, and FAA hotlines lit up. But in the sky, Richard was composed, collected, and even cheerful. Radio transcripts reveal a man in the middle of something he thought about for a long time. And now, I want you to hear it for yourself. This is Richard Russell, the Sky King, speaking directly to air traffic control during the final hours of his life. No voice actor, no filter, just his voice and his pain.
5, set approach, welcome, final runway 16 right.
Welcome. Man, I'm a ground service agent. I don't know what that is. Start it up and get it to go. In a couple hours, I guess. But, yeah, I wouldn't know how to land it. I wasn't really planning on landing it.
99 via Bravo over to Mansfield to 1877.
61. Or just some guy who knows all about it?
Compass 3712, Steel Tower and 16 right, clear to land.
What on top?
Knows how to fly one of those aircraft, but we'll see what we can do and get you in contact with somebody.
Alrighty, yeah, I just kind of want to do a couple maneuvers, see what it can do before I put her down, you know?
Departure, Boeing 464. Heavy is with you. Check departure.
93 going to departure. Did they find him?
3365, yeah.
And so I can reach out to you a little easier.
A little bit.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Sorry, my mic came off. I threw up a little bit. You know, hold on. Shoot. Man, I'm sorry about this. I hope this doesn't ruin your day.
22, cross runway 16 left, contact ground for your resequence.
Cross 16 left to ground, Oscar 322.
435 2.
Just flying the plane around, you seem comfortable with that?
Oh, hell yeah, it's a blast, man. I played video games before, so I know what I'm doing a little bit.
Okay, and you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
Nah, everything's peachy clean. Just did a little circle around Rainier. It's beautiful. I think I got some gas to go check out the Olympics. And, yeah.
Okay, and Rich, do you know, are you able to tell what altitude you're at?
Runway 16 left, and contact tower for your landing clearance.
Okay, I understand we are cleared for the visual 16 left now. We're going to switch over to 199 for landing clearance, left good 64.
Cessna 884, you're looking for Aero Mexico, Boeing 737. They're on a 4-mile final to 1,008.
I threw up all inside of it. It's bad.
You'll be released when you taxi out.
South American 600.
Fat to join. I was thinking about it, and then probably a good thing I didn't.
494.
5801, 170 or greater to Finca, contact tower. Thanks for your help.
170 to Pinky, contact tower, Campus 5801, no problem.
Yeah, that's all mumbo jumbo. I have no idea what all that means. I wouldn't know how to punch it in. I'm off autopilot.
Okay, see ya. Make a right turn on Bravo, taxi to 99, contact south ramp.
Bring it back down to 5,500.
Get me to the jets.
No, I'm not taking you to any jets. I'm actually keeping you away from aircraft that are trying to land at SeaTac.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't want to screw with that. I'm glad you're not, screwing up everyone else's day. On account of me.
All the traffic in front of you, make the daisy chain up around onto Alpha. We're going to keep people clear this runway for a sec.
Roger. For further instructions and with you.
446, Roger. We're just kind of freezing everybody at the moment, so hopefully when we can get things moving around, we will.
Okay, no problem. Let us know if we need to move. I'll be paying attention to you.
Thank you. 446, can we just shut down?
I'm down to 2100. I started like 30-something. 100 pounds of fuel.
Rich, you said you're at 2,100 pounds of fuel left?
Yeah, I don't know what the burnout is like on takeoff, but yeah, it burned quite a bit faster than I expected.
Okay. Yes, sir, we have the fuel inside.
437 contact tower. There is the runway just off your right side in about a mile. Do you see that? That's McCord Field.
Oh man, those guys would rough me up if I tried landing there. I think I might mess something up there too. I wouldn't want to do that. Hopefully, they probably got anti-aircraft.
No, they don't have any of that stuff. We're just trying to find a place for you to land safely.
Yeah, not quite ready to bring it down just yet, but holy smokes, I gotta stop looking at the fuel because it's going down quick.
Okay, Rich, if you could you start a left-hand turn and we'll take you down to the southeast, please.
This is probably like jail time for life, huh? I mean, I would hope it is for a guy like me.
Well, Rich, we're not going to worry or think about that, but could you start a left-hand turn, please?
2, horizon 2627.
62, thank you.
That bugged me.
American 1485, still tiring 1.
Hey, well, first off, you're a little breaking up a bit. Maybe I'm too far away. What's the distance on this frequency?
That's 5261 heavy, Roger. Might be a little bit before we can get you into parking. Just continue down to Bravo all the way down to the end, and you'll end up making a 180 onto Alpha, but just all the way down to the end on Bravo.
Okay, Bravo all the way down to 5261. Left turn on Delta, please.
Okay, taxi under 16 Center.
Fine for now, thanks.
Hold it.
You are very calm, collect, poised.
Seen on runway 16 Center. On 3,500 and Alaska 737.
Very good.
Nah, I mean, I don't need that much help. I played some video games before. I would like to figure out how to get this cabin altitude. Like, I know where the box is. I would like to get some, make it pressurized or something so I'm not so lightheaded.
Rich, what's your altitude?
I don't know anything about the autopilot. I'm just kind of hand flying right now.
Okay, do you know how fast you're going?
Damn it, Andrew! People's lives are at stake here.
Now, Rich, don't say stuff like that.
Nah, I didn't told you. I don't want to hear no one. I just want you to whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
And 600, Roger. It's going to be a while before we can get into cargo 5. So
16 Roger, 121.
That'd be better than trying to land it. Like, I know how to put the landing gear down.
7,000. Expect flight level 410, 15 miles from.
Put your power at probably 50%. That'd be the 2 top gauges right in the center on that glass display there. And then press, well, tell me, do your power at 50% or tell me what you got.
Yeah, I got it like flight idle.
Well, that's too slow. Bring it up to like 50.
80 of you, Bravo Rams, have this 20, 2.
Other side on the bottom it says HDG and it's got a little blue M on it. You can crank that around and you know what, tell you what, let's just do this. Push, you see the HDG button right by that little thumb wheel?
Hey, you think if I land this successfully, Alaska will give me a job as a pilot?
You know, I think they would give you a job of doing anything if you could pull this off.
Yeah, right. Nah, I'm a white guy.
It's 3 making 1 4 better to a 5-mile final contact.
Some moment.
Yeah, you do you, man. Hey, FAA guy, Andrew, you on?
If you wanted to land, probably the best bet is that runway just ahead and to your left. Again, that's McCord Field. If you wanted to try, that might be the best way to set up and see if you can land there. Or just like the pilot suggests, another option would be over Puget Sound into the water.
Dang, did you talk to McCord yet? Because I don't think I'd be happy with you telling me I could land like that, because I could mess some stuff up.
Well, Rich, I already talked to him, and just like me, what we want to see is you not get hurt or anybody else get hurt. So like I said, if you want to try to land, that's probably the best place to go. Okay, Rich, well, first of all, we just need you to keep flying the aircraft. So if you could just stay there and keep flying the aircraft. The airport you just passed over on your left, that's the Tacoma Narrows Airport. I mean, that's also an option if you wanted to try going there. But like I said earlier, McCord, that's a bigger runway if you wanted to try to land there.
Hey, Rich, this is Captain Bill here. We're still listening. My airplane's doing just fine. How's yours?
Hey, is that pilot on? I want to know what this weather's going to be like in the Olympics.
Well, if you can see the Olympics, the weather's good. I can see the Olympics through my window, and it looks pretty good over there.
All right, because I hit some, felt like turbulence around right near, but there was no clouds hardly.
Oh, that's just the wind blowing over all the bumpy surfaces there.
Road, you too. Turn back around here. Like I said, Just want to keep talking to you. And if you keep going towards the Olympic Mountains, we won't be able to hear each other.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them. Just a broken guy. Got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now. Just, you know.
120.471.
I want to come in here and start talking to Rich as well. 373 Cell Tyrone.
40, Alaska 753.
Is that pretty easy to come by?
It is now.
Verify Alaska 483.
It is Charlie.
Verify Alaska 4.
Man, have you been to the Olympics? These guys are gorgeous. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I have been out there. It's always a nice drive.
All right. Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip, you think?
Okay, all right. Well, no lower than 6 for now. I'm going to turn you northbound here in just a minute.
753.
I'm going to land it, in a safe kind of manner. I think I'm going to try to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, then I'll just go nose down and call it a night.
Well, Rich, before you do that, let's think about this. I got another pilot coming up, Pilot Joel, here in just a minute or two, I hope. And we'll be able to give you some advice on what to do next.
21 on there.
Just kind of lightheaded, dizzy. Man, and, you know, the sights went by so fast, too. I was thinking, like, I'm going to have this moment of serenity, you know, I'll be able to take in all the sights. There's a lot of pretty stuff, but I think they're prettier in a different context.
70 Alaska 40,000.
564, 178 to Finca.
On the right-hand side, above you, on the right-hand side air conditioning panel, you'll see it. It's a big panel. There's 3 switches along the top of it. Make sure all 3 of those switches are in the down position, facing the nose of the airplane.
Right, then 12.
I don't know where I've been at this whole time.
Okay, Rich, thank you.
2,500 to be exact.
Okay, thank you. And do you have an idea of how much fuel you have left?
Man, not enough. Not enough to get by. 760, 760 pounds. Just going to do this barrel roll real quick.
Well, no need to do that. If you could just start a turn to the right, and then I'll tell you when to stop turning, and then you can keep it level from there.
And if we're going to stay here, would you be able to give us, like...
Contact ground Skywest 4581.
I wouldn't mind just shooting the shit with you guys, but it's all business, you know?
Alaska 483, Conic Tower.
Alaska 483, get it.
I feel like I need to be, what do you think, like 5,000 feet at least to be able to pull this barrel roll off?
Negative. I'm currently on the orange line, a beam 6-6.
Alaska Maintenance, Roger. Proceed on to Bravo southbound towards the hangar. You can call the ramp now, 122.
You get hurt either. If you could, I see you're still turning to the right. You want to maybe start making a turn back to the left a little bit?
And 190 on the speed, Alaska 896.
5. You'd be a hero if you could pull off a landing.
In the middle, between the runways, there are planes stacked up out there. It's nothing's really moving on the field.
Just heading now to maintain 120,000, 105 train.
Let's try to land that airplane safely and not hurt anybody on the ground.
All right. Nah, damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to. I was kind of hoping that was going to be it, you know?
99, contact south ramp. 14.
After long, I feel like one of my engines is going out or something.
Okay, Rich, if you could, you just want to keep that plane right over the water, maybe keep the aircraft nice and low.
I need to join United 2223.
2277 is going to maintain 3,000.
Oh, no, we had some issues, so we had a ground stop for quite a while here. No one was departing, but now eastbound, southbound traffic is released, so if that's the direction you're going. I'm not sure if you're going like Suma or something. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that, but right now eastbound, southbound's released.
It's surreal, isn't it? There's something haunting about the way he speaks. How he laughs like none of this is real. How he apologizes to the people on the ground. And how he keeps trying to explain, not with anger, but with sorrow. It wasn't a political act. It wasn't vengeance. It was grief. the slow, silent kind. And through all the strange internet tributes and commentary, that's the part that often gets buried. Richard Russell wasn't a joke. He wasn't a meme. He was a human being, breaking down in real time over the open skies while the whole world listened. He spoke gently, regretfully, often with a nervous smile in his voice. He apologized, said he never meant to hurt anyone, and admitted he wasn't planning on landing the plane. The more he talked, the more heartbreaking it became. He wasn't angry. He wasn't violent. He was tired, exhausted from the weight of a life that had become too heavy to carry. He said,
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this.
Military jets flanked him at times but never fired. They were under strict orders not to engage unless lives were in danger. But Richard never tried to hurt anyone. His flight path stayed clear of major cities. He made it clear he didn't want to crash into people, only trees or open land. For just over an hour, Richard flew, a lone soul in a stolen plane, dancing above the forest and waters of Washington state. Eventually, he directed the aircraft toward Kentron Island, a remote, tree-covered piece of land in the Puget Sound. In his final transmission, his voice quieted.
This is probably like jail time for life, huh?
He asked.
Well, Rich, we're not going to worry or think about that, but could you start a left-hand turn, please?
The controller said. But Richard had already made up his mind.
And if that goes good, now I'm just going to nose down and call it a night.
Moments later, the Q-400 plummeted towards the trees. It hit the ground at high speed. The wreckage exploded into a fireball. Miraculously, no one on the ground was hurt. Richard Russell died alone. In the aftermath, the FBI launched a full investigation. Was this an act of terrorism? Sabotage? A security breach? The answer was simpler and far more disturbing. It was a suicide. There were no co-conspirators, no manifesto, and no radical ideology. Just a man who had been quietly falling apart behind a friendly smile. Toxicology reports found no alcohol or drugs in his system. The flight data showed that Richard had full control of the plane until the very end. His death wasn't a mistake, it was intentional. Security experts were horrified. How could airport protocol allow something like this to happen? As a result, airlines overhauled how ground crew members are monitored. Background checks were tightened, access to cockpits became more restricted. But none of that changed what had really happened. Online, the tragedy became mythologized. Forums dubbed him Sky King. Tributes flooded in. Art, memes, edits of his voice layered over music. Some called him a folk hero, a symbol of rebellion, a man who broke free from the machine, even if it was just for one final flight. But to those who knew him, he was just Richard. Funny, kind, quiet. Someone who loved his wife, his family, and his life. Until he couldn't anymore. His family released a statement describing him as warm, deeply loved, and completely unrecognizable in the context of what he had done. They didn't see it coming. None of us did. It's easy to be swept up in the spectacle of it. The stolen plane, the aerial stunts, the poetic radio calls. But at its core, this story is not about excitement. It's about suffering. Richard Russell was in pain, and no one knew. I've got a lot of people here who care about me, he said. It's just hard. That line, it's not the punchline to a meme. It's a warning that pain can hide in plain sight, that those who seem the most composed may be quietly unraveling, that sometimes the last cry for help comes too late. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out. Say something. Listen. Because in a world that often demands silence, even the softest voice can be a lifeline. And sometimes being seen, is all it takes to save a life. Hey guys, before we go ahead and wrap up this video, I just wanted to put a little reminder at the end. As we tell Richard's story, I think it's important to remember what month it is. June is Men's Mental Health Month, a time to confront the stigma, to open conversations that too often get buried, and to remind ourselves that strength doesn't mean silence. Men are told to tough it out, to keep things in, to smile through the pain, but the truth is, real strength is speaking up, reaching out, asking for help. If you're watching this and you're struggling, please know you are not alone, you are not weak, and you are not beyond saving. Talk to someone, a friend, a counselor, a stranger on a helpline. Let yourself be heard before the silence becomes permanent. Because your story matters, your voice matters, and you are still here. And if no one told you today, I love you.